everyone, welcome to day 11 of the 13 Nights of Samhain challenge. Today's prompt is, have you ever had a paranormal encounter or experienced something unexplainable? I definitely have. Today I'm going to tell you what I call the story of the big black dog. So this happened when I believe I was about 5. And it was before we lived at this house. It was when my parents lived at our old house, and so it's a little bit hard to explain, but our backyard was sort of like a square, but then the house was like here, and then there was like a square of the backyard, but then there was a little bit of a side area over here, and the whole thing was fenced in. And so the little side area went to a gate, and that went into the front yard. And the whole backyard was fenced in. There was no way, and it was a wooden fence, not like a metal fence like in our yard now where animals can hop through. It was full wooden fence, so there's no way except maybe like a mouse or something to get under, or like a squirrel to get over, but like regular animals cannot get through the fence. So it was nighttime, and I was outside with my best friend. We were just playing outside, you know. It had gotten dark, but it wasn't like super late or anything. And so I guess it was a weekend because she was spending the night. And so we were playing outside and just out there by ourselves. And we had a 2-story house. And so at the top of the roof in the center was a big bright light that shined into the backyard, but it didn't reach over into that little side area. It just shined kind of into the main backyard area. So we were playing there kind of on the playscape, which is just barely, the light barely reached the playscape. It was mainly in the yard area. So we left the playscape, and I don't remember if we were going to go inside or what, but we were walking into the grass, and we heard this weird noise that I wasn't really sure what it was, and we both just kind of looked at each other and was like, what is that? And it was coming from over in that side yard area. And so we went over there, and we started to walk over there, and it was dark, and we couldn't see really good, but we kind of carefully ventured over there, and then we noticed kind of come out from the darkness. It almost looked like it just sort of appeared because it was like in a dark corner, and then it came out into where we could see a little bit better, but still in the side area. And the side area wasn't big. It wasn't it wasn't like a normal side yard where you could put chairs or anything. It was just a little bitty passageway, and it was short. It wasn't long or anything. And so suddenly there's just this huge dog there. And at the time I didn't know what is it called, breeds of dogs. I didn't recognize different breeds. But looking back now, I believe it was a Rottweiler. But at the time I was just it's a huge black dog. And I was short and tiny, and so the dog's face was equal with my face, and it was just this huge dog, and it was growling at us, and we both just freaked out. And for a second I froze. My friend ran, and I froze for a second and just looked at it, and then was oh my gosh. And so I ran off, and we both ran inside screaming. And my dad came and was what's the problem? And we kind of quickly told the story there's this huge dog out there, it's growling at us, and so my dad got a flashlight, and he was how in the world would a dog have gotten in our backyard? It's fenced. There's no way a dog could have gotten back there. And so, but he was well, maybe it dug under the fence or something. And so he went back there to look, and he didn't find anything. There was no dog. And so he came back inside, and he was there is no dog. And I was yes, there is. There's definitely a dog out there. We both saw it. And so then he was look, come look. And we went and looked, and he shone the flashlight around, and he had one of those huge flashlights that's got a really big beam and stuff. It was one that was from the military. And so he looked around, and he looked on the ground, around the edge of the fence and everything. And he was girls, there's no way a dog could have gotten in here. Look, it can't get through the fence. It's not jumping over an 8-foot tall fence. And there's nowhere here where it's enough room under it to have gotten under, especially a big dog. And so I was just so confused. And I remember just being really unsure of what had happened, because I was positive I had seen something. My friend was positive she had seen something. And like we discussed it and we're talking about it, and we were like both like agreed like on what we had seen. Like it was a big black dog. It was growling and snarling at us, like, you know, not hissing, but showing its teeth. And we were both like, yeah, and it had like the shiny eyes, like when the light hits animals' eyes and they you know, not glow is not the right word exactly, but you know, they like reflect the light. And we were like, but there was no light shining like right at it. They would have made sense for its eyes to be reflecting like that. And so it was just like wild. And so the next day, you know, like we had talked about it at school and stuff. And so after school, I went home and I was like determined to like figure it out. So I went around our entire backyard, not just that area, but like the whole backyard, and looked at the fence and everything. And there really was like nowhere it could have gotten in. And so after that, we were convinced like it had to have been like a ghost dog. And so whether it really truly was, or a dog really somehow had gotten back there, which I still don't see how a dog could have, like a real physical dog could have. But yeah, that was my first like experience where I was like, yeah, that was definitely a ghost. Because I had little experiences before that where like I would see somebody like out of the corner of my eye, or would like see somebody walking and then I would turn and suddenly there'd be no one there when there was nowhere for them to have really like suddenly disappeared to. And experiences where stuff like that would happen, and then I'd be like, Mom, who was that? And my mom would be like, who is who? And I was like, the lady that just walked past us. And then I turned around, she's not there. And my mom would be like, there was no lady that just walked past us. We're by ourselves. And so stuff like that would happen. But before the dog point, that was really the first time that I was ever like, that had to have been a ghost. Because before that, I was just like, I don't know what I really thought was happening, but that was the first time that it really clicked in my mind that it could be a ghost. So yeah, a little bit shorter video and just kind of a funny story, but that's really the first time I ever experienced a ghost that I was sure had to have been a ghost. And it was a dog, which I think is just hilarious. So thank you so much for watching. I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, and like the video, and I will see you for tomorrow's video. All right, bye. See ya.